Hey, Star Wars action figure collectors, this is Darth Phoenix 619 coming at you with a year-end review. This is actually my 300th video, and I kind of want to do something different for it, and I thought it'd be kind of neat to kind of give an overview of what the year has brought us in regards to Hasbro Star Wars collecting, and at the same time show off my favorite figures for this year. So, you know, if you're not interested, you might want to skip forward in the video to see what my picks were for the year. But I really kind of wanted to do a rundown. I don't want this video to take too long, but I know a lot of you enjoyed my last video of Is the Thrill of the Hunt Dead, and I've gotten quite a few views on it. So I thought some of you might be interested in knowing some of my thoughts. And, you know, I still really can't do reviews. I'm going to try to do some reviews soon just because of my arm and whatnot. And I'll be actually uploading my Christmas birthday haul video sometime after this vid, so be on the lookout for that. But, you know, hope your holidays were great, and a new year to look forward to, so here we go. So, in regards to Star Wars collecting, I know that most of the year was pretty much dead. We didn't get much at all in regards to action figures. I kind of liked it because it gave me all the opportunity to really try to get some old figures that I had not picked up. You know, I wasn't looking in stores or buying new figures or anything. So I thought it was a great break to go back and get some favorites that I've been wanting to get for a while. We did get, what we kind of got was the Clone Wars 2013 line with the Yoda packaging, but of course we didn't get that in the U.S. And, you know, which was a bummer, but it was great for people outside of the U.S. to kind of have something for them to collect. And you know, it was mostly repacks, and for the most part, with a couple, or one figure actually that was new, but not the most exciting wave. And thanks to a friend, I was able to get the one figure that I was most interested in, which I'll talk about later. So come around August, we finally got to see some new Star Wars product in regards to the Black Series, and the Saga Missions and the Saga Legends and the Mission Series, the 2-packs. And, you know, my thoughts, and I've given my thoughts before on this, is that, you know, they're not for everyone. Not everyone likes them. A lot of people have been actually enjoying them due to the sculpt and the nostalgic feel to them, the retro feel that you get when, you know, when you get them and you have them in your hands. But not so much of an interest to me. I have not picked up any of them. I am interested in getting the Boba Fett that we're getting later on. I know some people have already started seeing it, only due to because I collect Boba Fett colored figures. But other than that, I still have not much of an interest. What I do like about them is the fact that they're cheap. You know, you get $5.99 for a figure, or 2 figures for $10, and that's just an awesome deal for parents who have little ones who want Star Wars figures, that you know, kids or older people who don't care about articulation or sculpt so much, they just want toys to play with. It's a great alternative. And, you know, as a parent, if I'm seeing, you know, figures 2 for $10, and I look over and I see Black Series Range Collection for $10, I'm more likely going to get those 2 for $10 figures or 1 figure for $6, you know, because most of those toys are going to end up probably in the garbage can in a month or so. But just a great alternative. And, you know, if that means more money for Hasbro, more money in their pockets, well, then that's great. You know, they can take that money, invest it towards the Black Series, get some better sculpts, get some new figures out there for the collectors. So, you know, I'm all for it. And it gives us as collectors, when we go to the stores, more opportunities to see vintage collection Black Series 6-inch or 3 3/4-inch figures on the pegs, because, you know, parents or kids are buying up the Saga Mission, the Saga ones or the Mission ones. So, you know, I'm all for that. So definitely, I do like the Saga and the Mission figures for those reasons. You know, and Hasbro, I read in a business article, apparently did better this year than they did last year. So that's good. You know, I've heard otherwise, but I kind of believe the article that I read that they have improved on their sales in regards to Star Wars. Next, I want to talk about exclusives. We got quite a few exclusives this year. Kmart got a few. Kmart always gets great exclusives. And the packaging that they have, the vintage collection packaging, is just amazing. We got the Scanning Crew. We got 2 sets. We got the Ewok Catapult set, which is fantastic. And so that was great. You know, I think, and most of the time most people got them for really pretty good prices. Of course, we also got the Toys R Us some Toys R Us exclusive, mostly vehicles, and they look pretty good. I know that there was a Republic gunship, the AT, which I think was released this year, the Biggs' X-Wing, the Geonosis Knights, which I really love those 2 packs. So we definitely got some very cool exclusives from Toys R Us. Overpriced, yes. It was really about trying to get those for good deals. Other people, they were happy with the prices. They were willing to pay those prices for those vintage collection, especially the vintage collection vehicles. We got the Amazons, which unfortunately didn't do so well. I didn't get any. I don't collect vehicles. The Slave one looked fantastic, though. I know a lot of people picked that up for a great price. Looks like a wonderful piece. The Interceptor, a lot of people were really excited about that, and we're really excited to get it also. And of course, the Legacy Build-A-Droid. I did not get it. It's out for $15. I was tempted. Still didn't get it. I may end up picking up maybe just the 212 Utapau Clone Trooper later on, loose or something. But it was repacks for the most part. Repaints, it wasn't really anything special. If you're a droid collector, you get Dooku's pilot droid and, Jabba the Hutt's droid servant. I forget the name of him. But, and unfortunately for Amazon, they didn't do quite so well either, because from 60 to 15, and the Slave one was down to 35 at one point. They were really trying to push product out, but I know that the Slave one sold out, so that's great. I don't know how much money was lost for Amazon in regards to these exclusives, but I don't see them happening anytime soon, especially not the Legacy Droid Build-A-Figure one. It's too bad. Packaging on that is really nice. Most people, including myself, I think would have preferred that, though I do enjoy the Black Series. And speaking of the Black Series, we got the Black Series. I was really excited to get my pre-order of Wave 1 of the 6-inch, and I was able to find all the figures that I pretty much wanted from the first wave. Some in stores, some I got online, whatever, but for the most part, I got most of them in stores. And the first wave was good. It wasn't the strongest, it wasn't the best wave, but it was a good wave. I felt that the Padme and the Luke were pretty much the highlights of that wave. It was nice to get some clones. As a clone collector, for me, that was cool to see. I know most people were tired of the clones and whatnot, but unfortunately, we are seeing some peg warmers again with the Anakin. Biggs is the one I tend to see the most. He's all over the place, and unfortunately, that's led to Wave 2 and Wave 3 not being in stores at all for me, and I know that's the case for most people. And like I've talked about in my Thrill of the Hunt video, it's been kind of depressing not to see these waves in stores again. Like, it just kind of brings back Phantom Menace. It brings back that whole mess that happened with the Phantom Menace wave for the vintage collection. So I've been able to get some of those figures online, but for the most part, I'm not entirely impressed with the Black figures, but I'm impressed with how it's progressing. I think it's turned out to be a great line, especially Wave 3. Wave 2 had some heavy hitters, some really cool figures, and it's a lot to look forward to in 2014. So I'm hoping it's going to get tons better. I'm excited to see what the future brings for the 3 3/4 inch figures. And then, of course, I think the best thing that's happened in regards to Hasbro and Star Wars collecting, the 6-inch series. I love it. Love, love, love the 6-inch series. I have pretty much all of them, missing 2, the Slave Leia and the Greedo, but I am planning to get them soon. But I love the 6-inch. It's just beautiful sculpt, paintwork, the accessories, the articulation. I almost want to pick up all of them now. I'm not a completist, but I think I want to be a completist when it comes to the Black 6 series. Fantastic. Oh my god. I can't talk good enough about the 6-inch Black series. So, let's go ahead and get into my top figures. Now, I don't want to spend too much. I reviewed all these figures for the most part, except for a couple 6-inch figures, which I will review soon. I know that there's tons of reviews out there, but I do want to get my 2 cents, and I know some of you want to hear my opinions on them. So I'm going to do some honorable mentions first, and I decided not to do Lego in this video. If anyone's interested in my thoughts on Lego this year, let me know. I might do the video if you want to know my top 5 sets for Lego. I can do that too. So let's do some honorable mentions first. I'm going to start off with Mara Jade. And I did like Mara Jade. Some people were hating on that head sculpt. I didn't think it was that bad, so there she is in all of her glory. I think she was a great figure. I did like the facial sculpt. The only thing that really bothered me about this figure was the eyebrows. That's about it. So, fantastic figure, though, for the most part. Another honorable mention which is one of the Clone Wars 2013, and it's this guy right here, and it is the clone 501st Legion Clone Trooper. This was part of the exclusive that most of the world got except for us. And thanks again to Mr. Boshek71 for hooking me up with this figure. Very nice. So I really like this guy, you know, especially since we were getting some really crappy articulated clones recently. It was nice to get that guy who had some pretty good articulation. And another figure that I'd like to give an honorable mention to is the Han Solo 6-inch figure. This guy, woof, I can't wait to review him. He's awesome. Just a great facial sculpt, tons of accessories, beautifully molded, great looking figure. Alright, so now on to my top 5 figures for 2013. Okay, so let's see if I can do this with my hurt elbow. First, we've got the Ewok Catapult, Assault Catapult set. I love these dudes. I love Ewoks, and I thought this was a great set. We were paying $16, so for 2 Ewoks and a catapult, just a nice little accessory to have. I thought that was really good price. I really love this thing. And the packaging on this, wow. It was, it's one of my display pieces. I don't really display too much packaging, but it's not going to fit in the screen, but just a wonderful packaging there. So that is number 5. Number 4 is Darth Plagueis. Just, you know, I'm a Sith lover, that's for sure. And reading Darth Plagueis the novel, I was excited for this figure, and to finally got him, I just wonderfully sculpted figure. Just very true to what I pictured him to look like in my mind. Number 4. Pablo Jill. This is my favorite 3 3/4 inch figure so far. So underrated. Just a beautiful sculpt. Facial sculpt is fantastic. Wonderful articulation. The aesthetic of the character is just fantastic, and he's just amazing. My favorite 3 3/4 inch figure of the year. You know, I don't have all the 3 3/4 inch figures that were released for 2013, but based on what I have, he's my favorite. Now on to number 2, which is a Black Series 6-inch figure. Boba Fett. Oh, you can't go wrong with the Fat Man. I'm a little biased here because he is one of my favorite characters, but he's just overall fantastic. Great figure. Haven't reviewed him yet, so looking forward to that. So that brings me to my number 1. So if Boba Fett was number 2, what was number 1? I think most of you can kind of guess. The Sand Trooper. Still hard to find in stores. He's fantastic, you know. I know that the Stormtrooper's coming out, but just now that we got this guy, oh wow, I don't know. It's going to be hard to beat. Just the weathering, the accessories, the articulation. He's perfect. I'd give him a 10 out of 10. Favorite figure of the year. So there you guys go. I hope you've enjoyed this little year-end review. I took a little long, but like I said, you know, I know most of you enjoyed me rambling on, so I thought why not do it again, kind of give my thoughts on the end of the year and show off some of my favorite figures. And that's pretty much it, you guys. I'll be coming at you soon, maybe tonight, with my haul for Christmas and my birthday. So until next time, you guys, may the Force be with you.